was whack. So, in life, you're gonna meet a lot of people, or characters, a lot of very interesting characters, a lot of people that are gonna mark your life either for, the good or for the bad. People that you probably will never forget for the rest of your life, and even some people that will be with you forever. So, today I want to talk about somebody in specific. You see, since like as long as I can remember, there's been this stalker, this girl that's been chasing me my entire life, and to no avail. And you're probably wondering, well, why don't you like her? Well, it's kind of complicated, and you're gonna understand why, while I tell these different stories. But today I want to start at the beginning. I'll start at the beginning. It's kind of redundant, but I want to start in the first day, well, at least the, the day that I remember first in chronological order, because from what I was told, I apparently knew her before this specific day. But anyway, yeah, I was 7 years old, and it was her fifth birthday, because by the way, I'm 2 years older than her. And I remember this day very well, though I don't remember everything. Somehow it's one of those days that gets marked in your life for the good and for the bad, because it had its good, but it also had its bad. So I remember I was at her birthday. It was her fifth birthday. I was 7 years old, and I remember that when I was there, they had this bouncy castle, as you do in kids' birthday parties, and I was just bouncing it. I didn't really know all of the people there. I only knew her, and I remember that when I showed up that day, she picked me up and gave me a big hug, and I I couldn't remember. I can't remember if I knew her before that, but I'm guessing since she gave me a big hug, she did know me. But I don't remember anything besides that one moment. Everything else is just a blur. So I don't actually remember the first time I met her. Even though it would be weird that, I don't remember because maybe that was the first time that I did meet her, and it would be kind of weird that she just did that to me, even though she didn't know who I was. Though I did think she said my name, though. Anyway, it's kind of fuzzy. So she was a pretty, you know, big. Not in that sense. I mean, she was tall. I don't want to make it sound hurtful. She was a tall girl, and I was a really short kid. So she picked me up and did that bear hug squish thing that nobody likes. Basically, she broke my ribs and then put me back on the ground, and I was pretty upset about it, but I didn't say anything because I was a shy kid. Blah blah blah. Anyways, um, I remember that I was in the bouncy castle. Blah blah. I didn't know any other stupid kids. I'm saying they're stupid, and you're gonna get why later. So I remember that they gave her this monkey for her birthday. Not a real monkey, by the way. That would have been cool, but it wasn't. It was a plushy primate, and somebody gave it to her for her birthday. I don't know why. I mean, it's a fine present for a little girl, I guess. And I remember that one of those douchebag kids just took it and he booked it out of the bouncy castle thing. And she went after him and chased him. And I don't know what got into me, but I don't know. I guess I felt like a superhero that day, and I wanted to help. I didn't like seeing people push other people around, so I went outside, and I didn't really do anything because I stood there, and then I saw that they were both fighting over it, and then out of nowhere it just launched itself into the sky and landed in my hands, and it's like, huh, isn't that kind of convenient? And it kind of was, because after that, she probably fell in love with me more. I think she gave me a big hug, if I remember correctly, and yeah, sometimes I kind of regret it, but at the same time not. It was a nice thing to do, but it brought some consequences later on that I kind of wish I could, you know, find a way to change those things. But anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked. So yeah, that happened that day, and that was pretty much the first memory and biggest recollection that I have of her. I have other moments, but I feel like I don't remember them as clearly as I remember this moment. This was pretty big for me, even at such a young age. So basically, at that moment, you probably don't get why I don't like her, and at that moment, I it's not that I didn't like her, I just didn't feel anything towards her. You know what I mean? And it's not because I didn't like girls at that time. Oh, I did. I wasn't a ladies' man, but I think I was a pretty good-looking 7-year-old, for my age, and I how do I say this? I did like girls. I did. I felt like how do I say, I peaked in the sense that I really wasn't the cooties type of guy around the age of 5. That's when I first started thinking, these girl things are kind of cute. To me, they were kind of like aliens from another planet. It's weird. They were creatures that I just didn't know how to communicate with. I mean, I remember this crush that I had back in kindergarten. Was it kindergarten? No, no, no. In Head Start. And I remember that in story time, the teacher would, tell a story. I'm being kind of redundant, but anyway, she would tell stories, and I would try to find a way to sit next to her, but it didn't always work. But I remember one day that I did, and I was super excited, but nothing really happened. By the way, I barely talked in Head Start. Like I barely even said a word. Not only that, but I cried every day because I wanted my aunt, and she would have to show up every day, before it finished, and also to pick me up. She was the one to pick me up. Yeah, I was a pretty I don't want to insult myself, but I was a pretty whiny kid. So, anyways, yeah, I did like girls at that age, but to me, she didn't really fit any of my descriptions. My shallow descriptions, of course, because I just didn't think she was, as pretty as the girls that I liked at the time. Because I did like a lot of girls. I had a couple of friends that were girls, and there was about at least 2 or 3 of them that I liked at the time, but I was a shy kid, so I never did anything. And those are stories that I think I should get to at another time. But anyway, to resume, where I'm going with this, the first story, grammar, words, come on, talk like a normal person. So, at the time, I kind of thought that besides the fact that she didn't really look, she didn't fit my shallow descriptions of what I thought a girl should be, I guess I also didn't, click much with her personality. We were friends, but I guess having somebody be that, devoted to you, it just felt weird. Like, even at the time, I knew that she liked me. I just knew it. I was a pretty smart kid, not to, pat myself in the back, which I probably should, but I knew these things. So, I kind of want to give a moral to the story, but I don't really have one. So, I'm just going to say this. Don't be shallow, but you also don't have to like every girl that comes your way. So, with that, I leave you, and I'm out. Bye.